God.
What is that? Hey, what are you talking about?
It almost looks like he's hacking.
Yeah, this is scripting
Is
sign.
he doing the scripting?
Welcome back to the LCS Triathlon. This time I have Stixxay versus Licorice. Licorice won the coin toss, wants to go second. That's allowed, so we're going to start with you. 3, 2, 1, go. That's a good start. Okay, he's got the sheet.
Why am I being punished?
I mean, his is pretty fast, actually.
I just won an LCS game. Why am I being punished?
Yeah, okay, this is really good. I almost want to get bonus points for that side.
The tag's always on the bottom left. I learned that.
Are you fast?
Oh,
Wow.
I think I might be.
Yeah.
Do I have to tuck this
Where's the pillowcase?
pillowcase? Oh. I didn't see that. Oh, what's one of these? Dude, I hate those pillowcases. Ah.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
Okay, and put everything on top. The comforter, man. Like, make it look a little good.
you gotta make it presentable.
Okay. Time. That's good. Behind the line.
Can I just throw it like this?
Yeah. If you miss all of them, you can still go on, but you have to throw one at a time. Oh, Silent Speedway.
Okay.
So the timer stops when you touch the Nexus laser on the other side.
Okay. Oh.
That's a crash.
Wait.
Auto cooldowns are on. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Ooh, smooth.
Oh my God. No.
Oh, he crashed.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that was a terrible angle. No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, can I click?
Oh my God, you can walk, you can walk.
Okay, okay. Oh, this is...
Yeah, when you're walking, you can use your active items.
Okay. I'm feeling confident.
You can make
on.
up Sion's speed.
I'm feeling confident. Yeah, I can make up.
How
Okay,
much
here we go.
time has he lost on this track?
There we go. There it is. There.
And we're back on track.
Wait, I should have. I don't know. My Mercurial at some point. I mean, it's not that much, but it's like 5 seconds. Okay,
Touch the laser. He's touched it.
Bang.
That's time. 2:29.
Is that good?
I'm not sure. Do you think you can beat it?
I think I'll make up time on the bed and the Scion, but I don't know about the throwing.
3, 2, 1, go. So just to recap, he's got to get the sheet on 3 sides. He's got to get the pillowcase
the
on
tag?
and the comforter on top.
It's on the bottom.
I don't know what that tech is called, but the rug flip, you know?
Yeah,
The swoosh is good tech.
That was the fastest sheet I think I've seen.
Is that good? 3 sides? Man, he's good at that.
That was good.
What is that? Hey, what are you talking about?
Okay, good enough. All right, throwing time.
You just caused the mess and then you
If you
pose.
miss if you miss all of them, you also get to move on, one at a time. Behind the line.
Ah! Oh, we're going for
Okay.
speed.
As soon as you stop thinking.
True, you're a Yone player
Yeah,
now.
well, we always give him counter picks, so he's always playing carries, so there's not much Scion in our
Oh
game.
my
Oh.
Maybe there's a reason he doesn't need practice.
Pretty good.
You sucked the fat in.
Oh.
Did he make this?
Oh,
Oh, the bounce.
Wow.
it almost looks like he's hacking.
Yeah, this is scripting
Is
sign.
he doing the scripting?
Yeah, was that the scripted Scion turn?
Did he use any actives? Oh,
No,
I almost got
yeah.
it.
Hey, no actives yet. That's kind of interesting. A little concerning.
Oh, all the
Oh, he made up the
It's
time right there.
Bring it home.
It's a good shot, Licorice.
All right.
Okay, this is gonna be close. And
Ryan's a fountain.
There you go.
okay. No way. Is that accurate? 2:04.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, it went exactly as I expected. I made up time on the bed and the Scion and lost time on the throwing.
Yeah.
So.
2:04 is a really good time. All right, thanks for joining us. That'll do it from here. Final leaderboard for the LCS Triathlon. Impact #1, Licorice #2, with some really impressive splits. Going all the way down, though, you can see Sven, M&S, Prince. There's a second page of this.
Where's our Mayo?
Those are our top
The old
laners.
man still got it.
Yeah.
The top laners.
Yeah.
That's insane.
07 Armeo.
All right.
You will be remembered. But we do have the splits. So the fastest bed maker and the
Was Licorice.
Yeah.
Licorice won both
Licorice-
bed waking and Silent
If
Speedway.
he hadn't trolled throwing,
22
he would have
seconds
beaten
on the
Impact.
throw.
Yeah, impact on 8 is what kind of edged.
The shocker, though, is the 311 bed.
Yes.
That's unreal.
Being worse than most people's completed triathlon.
But he's top half almost.
Yeah.
I mean, top
Also, Turtle taking the final spots in both Science Speedway and throwing.
The throwing was pretty impressive out of Revenge. He just one-tapped that, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. 1 or 2.
So Revenge was a one-tap throw.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. That's
fun.
crazy.
I'm glad we did that. This has been a really fun day.
It's been an interesting day, yeah.
Yeah. There is a much more serious and important game that's about to take place, though. So Immortals won yesterday, but more importantly, Golden Guardians is at 9 wins. They've never had greater than a 50% win rate in an LCS split.
Never hit 10?
Something is weird about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually spent a little bit of time this week looking into it.
Oh.
Take a look. Any given Sunday. It's a phrase that signifies on game day, anything can happen. The best team that day will win. Or do they? Consider the Golden Guardians, a founding team of the LCS franchise era, and since 2018 has fielded world's caliber players, toppled giants, contested a championship, and attended MSI, and yet a winning regular season has eluded them. 10 wins is all they need. Unlucky, unskilled, or cursed. The first sign of something inexplicably wrong with Golden Guardians was in 2019. They achieved their best record to date, finishing Spring Split 9-9. With the introduction of Nick Anero Smith to the team, summer seemed to be trending in the right direction, but the writing was on the wall.
So what transpired? What changed to lift Golden Guardians up into the middle of the pack?
I mean, we started burning everything behind the scenes to execute different things. It's a really easy way to get wins. I brought this up a few times too. Like if you need wins, that's the easiest way to force it.
Was this a confession of ritual sacrifice? Golden Guardians recovered from a 0-4 start to go into the final week, 8-8. But then 0-2. Did Anero make a deal with the devil? Cursed. Perhaps, like me, you wondered if Golden Guardians just didn't have what it takes. For every winner, there is a loser. But consider this. In the summer of 2020, Golden Guardians had a promising young core of huhi, FBI, and Closer. They went into the final week of the regular season 9-7. But of course, 0-2, 9-9. In the ensuing summer playoffs, they actually beat the eventual summer champions TSM 3-0. The very next year, on 100 Thieves, they won more than 9 games. They even won the title in summer. This roster was clearly capable of 10 wins. But why not do it on Golden Guardians? Mysterious. Supernatural, even. Just 1 year later, in the spring split of 2022, Golden Guardians began the split 5-4, only to reverse course and again finish 9-9. Halfway through the split, Anero went on record with Travis Gavin once again.
Anything less than 6-3 is a failure, is what I'm hearing.
Failure, and I deserve to be fired and lose my contract. If you don't go 6-3, something's terribly wrong.
Terribly wrong. Terribly wrong. 2023 spring, Golden Guardians enter the final week 9-6, needing just only 1 win. Yet they go 0-3, losing to CLG, FlyQuest, and Dignitas, the last place team in the league. Yet after all that, they make it to their first finals appearance in franchise history.
Let's go! Get doubling!
The monkey paw curls. Ten wins. They only need 1 more. Will Golden Guardians achieve that goal and make history? Or will some otherworldly and unexplainable force stop them cold? We'll see.
Wow. That was something we just watched.
Yeah, that was a piece of content on a League of Legends broadcast.
That was the content of all time right
that
there.
was one of the contents of all time.
Oh my goodness.
Are we at our 9-win quota?
Oh, I even saw Licorice tweet about like, oh yeah, we're at the 9 wins, time to play AP Riven today.
Yeah. Let's see if they get a little bit
There it is, yeah.
fast and loose state mandated 9 wins. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, it is crazy to think that they've never had more than 9 wins. They've been around for quite a while, but to be fair, 9 wins is a lot better than they used to do. They used to be like perennially 10th, so they are on the up and up. 9-4 now, and I am willing to bet there's no way they're finishing with 9 wins this split. Ain't no way.
Do you want to shake hands on it?
I'll shake hands. Yeah.
All right.
There you go. You're taking the other side of that bet. Is that what that is inferring? Because I'm shocked that you're willing to take that.
No, not me.
No, you shook. We shook on the bet.
All right, well.
Now we need terms.
Okay. Well, we'll
figure it out.
We'll let production and the lounge figure out a punishment.
Yeah, this is the worst bet you could have ever taken.
I mean, it is, but I've taken worse bets, you know. It's for content. Anyway, draft, select, first pick Poppy after the bans Jace, LeBlanc, Tristana, and Golden Guardians banning out Nico, Kindred, and Kai'Sa. Nothing new here. Poppy, great flex option for both Kenvi and Solo if he wants to take it in a good top lane matchup. Golden Guardians now gonna bounce ahead with not only Aphelios for Stixxay, and it looks like it's actually a blind Jax for Licorice.
Okay, he's slamming it down. Bringing up the Jax is getting a lot more popular these days. Kind of around the world, we've been seeing a fair bit of Jax. You know, especially in the LCK, Jax is really popular, where K'Sante gets banned out way more than it does here. And in A, we get way more like K'Sante Renekton. In some of the other regions, we're seeing some of those picks kind of have a heavier ban rate. So then third champions like the Jax do come in. Jax, I think, can work really well, you know, if you're confident on it. And especially, I think he's kind of throwing down the gauntlet and he's saying, I'm playing solo. You're not going to counterpick me. Like, what are you going to do, right? Like, you're going to play a tank.
Dang.
And I don't even mean that as flame. People used to do that against even some of the best top laners in the league. Like, this used to happen to Impact all the time. When GP was super meta and all Impact played was tanks, people just blinded GP every game against him, and he self-counterpicked with a tank because that was what was going to be needed for the team composition. That was what he was comfortable playing. So I do think, you know, that is a big reason why he's comfortable to just slam it in. He's saying, hey, you might actually ban this in the second phase, so I'm just going to blind Jax. Show me you'll play something that'll beat it.
Right. Nice thing, at least for Immortals, is that they have 2 flex options, and they're keeping their cards folded here with the Rell lock-in as well.
And I will say, Poppy is actually pretty nice into Jax.
Yeah.
So, you know, if he was comfortable to play that in top lane, you could flex things around. Of course, you know, it can't be Poppy jungle, could be Poppy top, could be Rell jungle, could be Rell support. So they do have the ability to flex things around. But I do think, you know, Golden Guardians are kind of throwing down the gauntlet and really daring Solo to pick something into him to kind of take that 1v1 matchup that they don't think he can do. And they are going to be banning out some of these picks like the Renekton, some of his comfort picks. But so far through this split, it has been 2 games of Renekton, so we'll say that's not a tank. And then it has been 5 Ornn, 2 Scion, 2 K'Sante, 1 Poppy, 1 Malphite, right? All tanks.
All tanks.
And Renekton really kind of does function in a similar way when you're just going like Gore Drinker tank, as some people do, or, you know, you're kind of just like that bruiser frontline.
Yeah.
But you play it in a somewhat similar way to some of these other champions, so we'll see what the answer is going to be. But Yone banned out here. Very interesting. So Yone being banned out does signify that Bolulu is potentially going towards one of these range picks like the Azir. That is one of the things that we see it picked into as a counter a lot. But also I think some of the more niche picks that Bolulu likes to go into, I think Vel'Koz and champions like that also can really struggle into Yone. So I think it's not necessarily just going to be an Azir angle, even though that is generally in pro play what it signifies you want to go for.
And it would be strange for him to pick the Azir, because the fact that he plays Vel'Koz, which for years has been a pretty niche counter pick into Azir, I would be surprised if he was willing to take the other side of the matchup when Gori is a prominent Azir player, and if Bolulu wanted to, you know, test his stuff, you know, so you just wait for him to pick the blind Azir here. That's fake.
I think that's just the memeing the tweet. You know, we saw the tweet earlier, so I think he's having a little bit of fun with it, offering the Riven.
I wouldn't be surprised if Golden Guardians just go for the blind Azir because they want to save counter pick. They don't know for sure who's going for support at this point. And one of the things that did allow Immortals to be successful yesterday in their matchup against 100 Thieves was because Kenvi, Tactical, and Treatz all had a coordinated game plan. Hard engaged, snowballing Tactical, getting him to be super fed and, you know, simple win condition, but they executed it probably.
Oh!
Wow!
APA setting the meta a little bit here in the LCS.
You know, Bolulu was, you know, liking the flavor that APA was bringing, and it's like, you know what? I could do that too.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the Ziggs does look really, really good. It's so skill shot reliant, right? If you're actually hitting in those bouncing bombs, it's really powerful, but that's very similar to a lot of the picks that he likes to play, the Zoe, the Vel'Koz. So I do think it's like a somewhat similar play style. So going to be interested to see how he's able to perform on this. Jinx can also crush through turrets very quickly, so that combo is quite nice.
Golden Guardians see 3 tanks all wanting to go forward, and huhi says, give me Renata Glasc. Because as soon as all 3 of those tanks are trying to fire the go button and all diving in, everyone is going to turn against each other with the hostile takeover.
So it is going to be Poppy top into Licorice's Jax, which I do think, is smart. It's a strong matchup, especially early on. And some Poppies will go for more aggressive builds to actually try to continually win out in that 1v1. You can go things like Divine Thunderer and really look to scrap in that 1v1. I don't really expect that. I think we're probably just going to see Iceborne or something more along those lines, but it's a strong early matchup regardless. You have to be really careful about how you're using the Leap Strike because you can obviously get stunned up by the Poppy W, and you can trade really well with your Qs. If you can get any sort of a setup, with the Nautilus coming up top, I think it gets pretty risky for Jax because Jax escapes ganks by just using ward hops, right?
Yeah.
And if you just run in on top of this guy when Nautilus is coming in and you pop your W, you can't actually use that as an escape. You can get locked down, you can get burst down, so we'll see how Immortals are going to be able to play around that top lane and if Licorice is going to create any sort of an advantage up there.
And for Immortals, as we touch on how they got their success yesterday, it was just, simple to execute composition, just going forward. Golden Guardians clearly have done their homework. They were prepared for what Immortals would want to play and what they would want to draft. They have this counter pick support ready for huhi on the last pick so that there's nothing that Immortals can do to really necessarily pivot out of it. And that's going to be curious when we get into skirmishes and even big teamfight situations, because now as Immortals, you have to be more cautious when you're picking your engages. Because if you use all of your buttons all at the same time and it gets countered by one ulti, then the value is completely lost.
Yeah, absolutely. That can be very, very difficult to actually fight through that Renata when you're playing against dive comps. That is kind of the bane of them. It also is going to force you to play cleanse as AD. You have to basically play cleanse when you're playing against a Renata, because if you're an auto attack based champion like Jinx, you can be shredding your own team if you do get caught up by that. We are into a pause, so that's why we haven't jumped into the game just immediately. But ready has been called in game by both teams, so I assume it was Golden Guardians that just needed some sort of a brief pause. Either way, hopefully we're going to be hopping into it momentarily. I will say, Immortals is playing a 2-threat comp, so they have to keep these carries safe. If Licorice can get into the back line and be threatening Bolulu or Tactical, even if he can't kill them, even if he's just pushing them out of the fight, you all of a sudden don't really have a lot of damage in the team composition here.
Yeah.
For Immortals, where it's going to be tough. Like if Tactical or Bolulu get pushed back, the front line is not going to be able to kill off the Azir, not going to be able to kill off the Aphelios with a Renata behind them, with River on this Maokai peeling for them. So they've got to make sure to really keep them safe and be maximizing the damage that Tactical and Bolulu can get out.
As we take to the Rift, only Solo is by himself on the top side against Golden Guardians' 5-man split, whereas 4 members of Immortals positioned for a defensive measure in case Golden Guardians went for an early invade on this bottom red side jungle, but it looks like it's going to be called off. Immortals don't suspect that maybe Golden Guardians will be looking for the invade because they don't have any vision past their own bush here, as Bolulu, with that bomb, is going to find that, hey, someone was in the pixel bush and get some first strike gold.
Yep, it's going to be going towards that. Have some pretty aggressive runes here from Solo. So he is going Scorch and Mana Flow secondary. Mana Flow pretty standard, but going for Scorch, more for that laning phase.
Wow.
Trying to land enough poke, trying to be able to harass this Jax out, because Jax doesn't have a lot of sustain in the kit early on. You're just going to be reliant on grass procs, on second wind, on D-shield. Gori also, going towards the Scorch and the Mana Flow. So it's a little bit of a different look, as River going to be starting out enemy Raptors here level 1. You can see Gori just trying to get that shove, trying to keep him safe. We'll be able to successfully take these Raptors away, and I don't think they really have any idea.
Yeah, Kenvi was pinging missing over on the blue side camps, just trying to do the normal tracking. I was like, okay, this is probably where River is. He probably finished blue buff and Grom, but during this whole time, because of the delayed River invade, there's no vision dropped by Immortals members to catch that moment and movement from River. So now River's going to get this whole bottom side jungle of red side for free, and Kenvi's not going to know until it's too late.
Yeah, I think he is going to skip the Krugs, because that gets a little bit dicey where the bot lane can come back and actually collapse on you. Licorice got 2 first there, so he just goes in with the Leaf Strike, gets some damage down on Solo before he actually leveled up. As Treatz going to be looking. They get the early level 2. They do have the push steer down on bot side, but yeah, River just takes the 2 camps. And now Kenvi gets the bad news that his camps are missing and is even going to be spotted there by the saplings. So they know exactly where he is. And River is just going to be 2 camps up off the start. It's a great little level 1 here from Golden Guardians.
And I just wonder if Golden Guardians knew that Immortals were not going to drop any vision. Because if they do drop vision, Kenvi can make a more informed play, try to trade for camps on the top side of the map. But the fact that they get away with that is almost like... it's awesome for River, just making a huge risk and taking the gamble off of it and then getting the payout. Because now he's going to be up on tempo, he's going to be ahead of the curve, and at the end of the day, if you want to have like a tank jungler, Maokai always seems more powerful than Nautilus.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the comps and depends on the team fight and stuff. And I think we're also going to see AP as it is first strike on the Maokai. So at least going to go Demonic Embrace, then maybe into tank. You know, they obviously offer different things. Like there's a lot of zone control here for Maokai. There's, you know, vision control with the saplings, but point and click on the ulti from the Nautilus can be really, really powerful. And I think now Golden Guardians just have to respect the fact that Kenvi is down here in this bottom area. River has spotted him. He's trying to play for that scuttle, and bot lanes are going to be moving up. So Immortals do have first move. And it should be theirs as a result.
Oh, Q flash from Treatz lands it right onto both of the members of Golden Guardians, and they know that this play is already done, so no point in flashing away for Stixxay. First blood goes over to Tactical.
Great turn there from Treatz as they were moving up the river to try to support Kenvi, and he's just able to find the Q flash into the crash down. That combo really, really nice. Is able to guarantee that crash down most of the time. Tactical was low, so I think Golden Guardians felt pretty comfortable to actually move up and look for this fight, but huhi was really low on mana, and Treatz just finds the angle there as they group up trying to go around the wall, and there's just nowhere for him to flash, right? There's nowhere for Stixxay to go from this spot, so I do think holding onto the flash was the correct choice, but it is a first blood for Tactical, and a big one at that.
And we know how Immortals were able to get their win yesterday. It's just all focused on Tactical, getting him snowballed out of the lane, and the fact that Kenvi, even though River was able to make this advantageous, you know, individual play for himself in terms of tempo, it doesn't matter if the Jinx is overly fed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, it was just a little bit of a bridge too far trying to contest at the scuttle. Like, why do you need to do that when you're already a couple camps ahead? You can just give that up. He's got nowhere else to be, right? He's going to be down on that scuttle. You know that he's going to be down on that scuttle. You can just respect the fact that he can look for a gank, do a 3-camp clear top, take out your topside scuttle, your bot lane plays a little bit defensive, and then you're kind of just chilling with your jungler having a 2 to 3 camp lead, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, even from this position, you can still see that River is pretty far ahead, because Kenvi didn't really have anything to do but just hang around bot and wait for the scuttle spawn. But you know, Golden Guardians obviously thought that they were in a position where they could really slam home that advantage and potentially double scuttle, you know, take everything away from them. And at the end of the day, they did end up double scuttling, but it did cost them a death on the bot side.
Yeah, almost seems disrespectful. You know, maybe the complacency starts to set in when you are playing against, you know, the 10th place team in the league, but Immortals, in their win against 100 Thieves, while the competition may have not been that great, it was still a decisive and an executive win from Immortals. So this is now the time where, if you're Immortals, you know, take risks as you happily can see them. You know, don't be afraid of anything because you have nothing else to lose at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. They are one win behind where FlyQuest is now, because FlyQuest was able to pick up a win here today. So if they can actually keep pace, then they're both only one game back of where 100 Thieves is, right? You know, it is within reach, but they're going to look for a play on bot.
River tries to pay the love back towards the bottom side of the map, but Kenvi's going to turn around with a counter gang of his own. Tactical has to walk out of this one. The flash from Stixxay using it aggressively forward. Tactical, a couple more auto attacks, and there is the cleanup. The revenge has been made for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, nicely done. That is the advantage you get from holding that flash from earlier. He has it to follow. He gets the bailout just for the move speed to be able to chase him down, and now they're stepping forward. They want to crash the wave as River's going to move up towards top. So a good gank down towards that bot side. They get both the summoners off of Tactical. They get the kill onto Stixxay. It's exactly what you would want to have happen.
Cleans up some things a bit. Now Treatz is going to be a nuisance for huhi and Stixxay, preventing them from getting a clean reset off. It does delay the back timer a bit. Not really sure if it really impacts the laning phase for the next couple of minutes here. Meanwhile, Licorice is actually pretty low again, solo on the top side of the map. Has teleport if he needs to use it to come back to lane.
Yeah, that was pretty dicey. Honestly, a little bit almost disrespectful from Licorice. I feel like there may have been an angle to look for like an E flash or something like that. You know, flash, stun him into the wall, because he was pretty close to going down. But Licorice felt confident that he could actually just walk up, farm out the rest of that wave. Now he TP's back. This is how this matchup can look. You know, once Poppy gets a few levels under her belt, can really start to win these trades. It becomes pretty difficult as you're just getting harassed by the buckler. If you try to leap forward, you're getting stunned up. But now it's a catch here on the bot side. River's going down.
And it's just easy. They knew that River had no flash. And honestly, the past couple of moves here have been very disrespectful from River, just playing like, oh yeah, Immortals are not going to turn on to me. It's like, I may be Nautilus, but I have a very simple to execute champion here. I point my target at you, and I fire all my abilities.
And also, just look, there's no vision on this entire side of the map. Like, where's the vision of this whole quadrant, right? There's nothing. So, you know, he's kind of just walking in there blind. Yes, he does have the saplings to check, but his bot lane was not pushed up. It's not like he's going to be able to get support from the squad. So, was a bit of a risky play, is punished for it. And Immortals out to a very slight lead here early in this game.
See if Immortals can carry this momentum forward. Solo's dealing with Licorice in the river here. Another play might be happening in the works here. Kenvi already hovering towards the bottom side of the map. They have vision cleared out, so Golden Guardians will not know that. And Kenvi's making his approach. Flash right on target. And they know that Stixxay doesn't have flash from before. It's another kill for Immortals.
Yeah, they just kind of walk straight up. I guess Golden Guardians felt like, hey, we can just win this 2v2, so they walk right in. But again, what I highlighted for River is also true for the bot lane here. There's zero vision. There's literally not a single ward. Like, look at the map. It's all dark, this whole area, right? They have no eyes on where the enemy jungle is, no eyes on the river. So you're walking up there, and you're just kind of hoping that Kenvi's not there, and in this case, he was. And honestly, huhi was lucky to get out as well. I think that Chompers were like a split second from actually arming and trapping him up. He just barely got enough move speed with the heal to get out. But yeah, Golden Guardians think playing a little bit fast and loose here. Maybe Jat was right.
Oh my goodness.
It's a 9-win curse.
It's still early game. We're not going to resort to anything quite yet, but they're initiating the dive on the bottom side of the map. Stixxay has the bailout, so they have to dodge out. Nicely well played from huhi as Immortals forget about how Renata works, but now they have Bolulu with the Mega Inferno Bomb. They trade one kill back. Gori coming in with the sweep, and they just might spoon feed kills back into Stixxay. Shutdown gold goes over to the Aphelios, and Bolulu's on the run, and River has made his way back from base after taking the Rift Herald, and Treatz cannot make the crash down over the other side of the wall. Unfortunate as he throws out the dabbing penguin just for style points, but he knows he's dead.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get out of there anyway, but that dive was just so misexecuted. Tactical at aggro, and that should never be the case there. You need to have them tanking it up for the Jinx, allow the Jinx to be able to actually finish off those kills, to be free firing on him. You know, he is the member that you want to be having that happen. So let's watch it one more time. Let's see exactly how this happened. How did Tactical end up with aggro here? Did someone reset it? So Treatz pulls aggro. Does Treatz walk too far up? Oh, he flashes out. Oh, God. I mean, that is just, that one's on a Tactical. That one's on Treatz. Treatz pulled aggro. He did it correctly. I think he was trying to flash up to actually CC them both. And then I think in his mind, this is like me trying to think about how he was thinking about this, is that he was going to flash to the very edge of turret aggro, hold it, and then get low, and then step out. But what happens is he flashes too far, the tower goes on to Tactical, and now the dive is just completely screwed, and you throw away what was going to be a great play from them on the bot side. You end up giving over multiple kills from a power position that is absolutely not what you wanted to have happen.
Yeah, and I imagine that if the stun actually connects onto huhi, maybe he doesn't have enough time to get the bailout out before Stixxay goes down. And now River throws out the Nature's Wrath, and poor Solo's got nowhere else to run. Licorice picks up the kill.
The twisted advance there from River, dodging out on the Poppy ult, was really, really nice. The timing was perfect on it. Solo maybe would have needed to try to knock out Licorice, but he was so low at that point, he's probably dead either way, so does look for the play, but River finds an angle, gets his Jax a kill. And if Jax does start getting too far ahead, it can become very difficult. You know, this champion scales incredibly well, plays very well through the side lanes. You know, quietly mid lane going pretty well for Bolulu. He's been farming it up, you know, pushing in the Azir as much as he possibly can. Has the Ludens complete, and we're seeing a lot of the first major items come through now, kind of across the board, as those purchases are coming down. This is only a slight lead for Golden Guardians, but definitely a disappointing play on the bot side for Immortals.
Oh, yeah.
They could have been in such a good spot, you know? If you execute on that dive, then maybe you're farming plates, then maybe even, you know, Ziggs can go down there and execute the tower, etc. So could have snowballed a lot in their direction.
Treatz maybe looking for something else, but oh, Gori just sidesteps it. It's a 3 Magnet Storm, but does Treatz have any damage follow-up? I don't think so, because Blue has already expended most of his cooldowns, and Treatz just gets left to die as Gori picks up another one.
Yeah, Gori breaking their ankles on that one. They go in for the play, but he just slides out to safety, and now Licorice, with this under a complete, starting to like his odds in a lot of these trades. But you can see the second part of the Q connects. Licorice wants to go for the chase, but Solo's doing pretty well and will push him back. It's difficult to chase onto the Poppy like that because you'll just retreat back with the Q on cooldown there from Solo. And if you're chasing forward into it, you do get hit by that second part of the Q, and that is so much damage, you know, from that hammer shock.
Despite the early moves from Immortals, as impressive as it has been to punish on Golden Guardians, you know, lack of stepping forward, Immortals are going to still try to go and look for something more. Gori is getting burned down low, but all the CC from River, as Bolulu is able to at least take out Gori before going down, because the hostile takeover from over the wall, but Tactical actually takes out River. There's no damage fallout from Golden Guardians. Licorice just teleported in, but everyone from Immortals got out alive.
Yeah, the Choppers was there on the TP, so Licorice can't do anything. As he does arrive, he just gets CC'd up. Huhi tried to finish someone off, but Immortals just go right back towards mid lane, and this time there's no flash, there's no ulti on Gori, so there's no outplaying the gank. All right, able to knock him down. It's a nicely played attack here as Kenvi's in the area, flash, lands the hook, full CC combo there. They satchel charge him away from the wall, guaranteeing that he will go down, and then as Treatz arrives, has that Q stun into the knockdown. Tactical from cross map picks up that ulti, arrives, gets that movement speed reset, drops the chompers onto Licorice's teleport, and that's really the end of the play. So well executed there by Immortals. We're tied up in kills, still a slight gold lead over the way of Golden Guardians. As it is Licorice, who's pretty far in the lead as far as the farm goes now, and he has been farming up these plates. So Licorice is going to be a problem. You know, I talked about it earlier, how it is this two-threat comp, and if Licorice can get access to Tactical or to Bolulu, he doesn't even necessarily have to kill them. He just has to kind of make their job difficult in a team fight.
Threaten them.
Exactly, because there's not really a lot of damage besides those two members. So if you just push one of them out, I think that the Azir and the Aphelios are going to be able to clean up the rest of it.
Yeah. Another engage from Treatz looking for Gori, but he just sweeps on over the wall and then pushes Bolulu right into the arms of River. But Bolulu with the W gets out alive. He's just making his way over to the safety of the jungle. And the rest of Immortals have to run away from Golden Guardians engaged. Nature's Wrath wraps up Kenvi, and he just has nowhere to run. River will get traded on back, though, into the tower. My goodness, this is a bloody game.
Yeah, it's extremely bloody, and Bolulu is able to get out as well. His finish is the recall. Huhi was hunting for him up on that top side. Is just going to TP back towards this tier 2. Wants to be safe. Treatz, though.
He interrupted the shuffle. Oh, Gori. Oh, no.
Great play from Treatz. Is able to actually get that interrupt. You called it out on that shuffle and was trying to actually use the shifting sands, get back to safety here, but gets interrupted on it, so no way out for him. It's just been bloody around this mid lane, but Bolulu still has yet to go down. The Ziggs is really kind of just working for him straight up. Gori's pushing forward. He wanted to actually delay the recall. He was saying, oh, you're taking a lazy recall? I'll actually stop you and harass you here, but gets flipped out of it with the remount there from Treatz. Bolulu shows up, gets the kill, and now takes down the turret, which is actually first tower of the game, gets solo gold on it. So he now is quietly the richest member in the game, just surpassed Licorice with that turret kill, up at 7,000 gold just about, and Gori's sitting about 5,600, so quite a bit behind.
Potential engage on the River. Bolulu is right behind Kenvi, but they don't want to press further. I just have to say, I am completely admiring. Oh my goodness, I don't know, man. I during that whole content thing that Jat did, the conspiracy video, I could just imagine if Anero was in the same room, he would just be mad sweating and just ready to ball up his fist. It's like, Jat, turn this video off right now.
Yeah, stop jinxing us.
But on the point of Immortals, I mean, they have made a lot of plays in the early game. Some have been great, some have been, not so great, but they are still trying. And the resilience and the they're
making stuff happen.
Yeah,
just not all the stuff that's happening is good for them.
The determination to continue making things happen in this game, and I really credit a lot with Treatz and Kenvi because they are the guys that have to go forward, and even if something goes wrong, it's like, it doesn't matter. You know, it happened, 2 minutes ago. We're going to continue making plays until we win this game.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the way you have to play. You kind of have to have that goldfish memory about a bad play. If your comp needs to hard engage, guess what? One play goes bad doesn't mean you stop hard engaging. That's the way that you're going to be able to actually win these games. So Bolulu and Treatz need to maintain confidence. They have had, Treatz and Kenvi need to maintain that confidence and keep finding those engaged. Bolulu has been doing really, really well, but it's been problematic that Licorice takes down the tier 1 top, now goes bot and just gets a freebie on bot side. Like, no one answering for this. That's not worth it for the Herald trade.
Yeah.
The Herald is potential to take down a tower. You just gave one for free to do it, so you are really, I think, risking Licorice getting out of control. When Jax gets too fed, when he gets too far ahead of the game, he gets a lot of CDR in his kit. Like, it is very hard to get away from this guy. The counter strikes become such low cooldown that he becomes so tanky.
I mean, who on Immortals is equipped to deal with the late game Jax and the split push late game, right?
I mean, it basically has to be Solo are trying to just hold at his tower, or you send Bolulu and you just try to just kill
Wave
the waves.
clear, yeah.
You don't interact, you just try to one-shot the waves over and over.
But then if you send Bolulu to answer the Jax, then that's a major damage threat taken away from the team fight. So that is Golden Guardians' like hope right now, because a lot of their early game has been answered pretty surprisingly by Immortals, and it's put them on the back foot. They're not behind, they're still technically ahead in gold, but it's such a small number, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, the gold is basically dead even. It's just about, you know, where that gold is. Poppy trading pretty well here. Licorice is going to have to pay some respect. You know, they do still have the Herald, and bot lane tier 1 is low enough that if Bolulu just comes down to bot, he can just satchel charge and execute that turret. So it is a really deadly combo. You know, when you have that Rift Herald, it has more value on a team with Ziggs, so that's something that is fair to consider, because that first charge gets it very low, close to execute range. The passive autos from Ziggs do a comical amount of damage.
Yeah.
And then the WXQ can come through pretty quickly thereafter. So,
Yeah.
you know, Immortals may be able to pick up, say, 2 more towers here in the next couple minutes. Bolulu, I think, is going to walk down bot. He's going to be able to kill this. And then they can potentially drop Herald on a tier 2 and try to get a second kill there.
Yeah. I mean, APA has already shown the LCS the truth about Ziggs. You know, I don't think this champion has been, you know, bad for time being. Just it's been underplayed, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, between APA and a few other players in Challengers League as well, I think that's one of the things I really enjoy on the weekends as well. Just being able to see the diversity of drafts that they go versus the LCS drafts.
And we're seeing it kind of like splashed in here in the LCS. We have seen some different stuff. You know, Licorice brought out like this like Hullbreaker split push Yone. We saw LeBlanc top today. Rich has been bringing in some spice in top lane. He's had a couple of Quinn games, you know, 2 Quinn games now against the Renekton. He's brought out the Alawi. So I do think when players are going to bring out these picks and make it work, other pros have to stand up and take note, right?
Yeah.
And they are doing that. You know, we're seeing the proof of that as APA has come in, had a fantastic start with TL, you know, really helped them turn around their split. And now Bolulu, he's going to be able to take a page out of his book and look for it.
Yeah.
And this is that play that we're talking about. You walk up, you get the charge, it's just gone immediately.
Don't even need the satchel charge for this one. Mega Inferno Bomb expended just to zone Golden Guardians members off so that they cannot defend from the crash. I mean, right now, they have a pretty sizable control of the map. Vision control is starting to bleed into Golden Guardians' blue side jungle. So for the next couple of dragons that are coming up, I mean, Golden Guardians is going to actually have to fight and contest for them. And if you're caught in the wrong choke point, or as you've been face-checking a Nautilus, it's looking bad. But Licorice is going to look for the engage on the bottom side of the map. Kenvi and Solo are bullied away, but Kenvi already got the red buff, so there's no real loss here for the side of Immortals.
Yeah, Licorice pretty confident, knows it's just kind of 2 tanks there to be able to push them back out. He's also gone for a pretty tanky build, so you can tell he wants to move more, I think, into the 5v5, going towards the Sterix, going towards the Merc Treads. You know, he's going to have that tenacity and going to have the ability to be able to go into the backline and not just get one shot, right?
Yeah.
So it does signify that he wants to group for fights. He wants to look towards those 5v5s, and we'll see what he's going to be able to get done in them, as he has created a pretty decent advantage in the side lane, you know, been able to pressure down some towers. But again, Poppy really can hold her own. I'm going to be interested to see, you know, how that looks in the later stages. You know, if he can keep finding edges in that side lane, or if it is just going to be purely about 5v5.
Yeah, because so far Immortals have done just fine with only 2 of their tanks versus all 3 of them.
Yeah.
But I imagine you throw all 3 tanks in the mix, and then it will start become a little more oppressive for Golden Guardians.
The other thing is, you know, if Licorice wants to play more heavily through side lane, you just get a little bit of lifesteal, a little bit of sustain, and then all of a sudden tank damage doesn't matter anymore.
Yep.
Right? Like, if you want to go something like a Ravenous Hydra or Blade of the Rune King, whatever, you can go towards those options. It is not going to be that, as he is actually just building a Spectred Cowl, so he's going to be going for sure now for the 5v5, I think.
Yeah, because the only sustain that he has is when he's interacting directly with the champion, Divine Sunder and Grass. But you know, I don't imagine that Spectre Cow is going to be anything other than a Visage.
Oh my god.
Nice damage, Bolulu.
Yeah, I actually really like this when Ziggs players do that. When you have squishy members on the other team and they don't have sustain, you can just throw that sucker out. It's 70-second cooldown right now, and as you do hit those higher ranks, it gets lower and lower and lower, and one ulti can send someone back to base, and that's why we're seeing, you know, some defensive itemization being built up on the other side. It is going to be difficult. You know, Gori, if he can dodge a lot of the initial poke, then he can get a lot of value from that Banshee's Veil, but he has to be careful that it doesn't just get Ludens off or something like that.
Sure.
Because there is pretty high potential that the Banshee's Veil does nothing.
Dragon is alive. Neither team is really going for it quite yet, because Licorice has an advantage pushing Solo in this bottom side of the map. Immortals have all 5 members here, though, looking for the engage. Kenvi finds a hook on River, but...
And solo still isn't going, right? So now it's kind of this awkward situation. If they go down towards bot, Golden Guardians are going to start Baron. You cannot do Dragon here, guys. It's an Azir and an Aphelios with Bite Gun. This Baron is going to melt, so they need to come up and respond. But again, now Golden Guardians, you see they're not going to the Dragon. You can just pull off. You don't have to commit to this. Just let the Jax take the tier 2 bot for free.
huhi is going to get locked up here. He throws out the hostile takeover. He goes down. It looks like they're actually just going to go ahead and commit to the Baron, but it's going to get so close. 2,500 HP. All of the Immortals are into the pit, and Kenvi steals the Baron away from Golden Guardians. Now Golden Guardians have to fight their way out, but Tactical flashes over the Shurima Shuffle. Stixxay is able to answer on back, but now it's up to him to do the damage. He and Licorice have to clean this one up and make sure that Immortals don't walk away with any of the stolen Baron buffs, but Solo is so tanky. I don't imagine he gets out. The gravity gun might say otherwise if he can get in line for a root here, but Solo escapes, and it's a heist for Immortals.
Yeah, Immortals do get that Baron, but they get wiped off the map right after it. I thought Golden Guardians were just going to peel. They were getting freebies in bot. This was one of those situations where I don't think they needed to force it, but they decide just go for the straight up flip. And honestly, it could have gone way worse because they could have even had more people knocked out of the pit and then just lost the fight. huhi ends up dying for free at the start, does get the ulti off, but they just say, all right, we're just committed to it. huhi's down. They use that Maokai ult to try to peel, and then imagine if Solo actually connects with that. It would have been even more free. But the problem is you're engaging into these tanky members, and Licorice is able to get so much work done in the back. Bolulu and Tactical were struggling to really get access as the Azir was kind of creating space around there. A nice flash from Tactical. That was such a fast reaction as Gori went in for the flash and the sweep. But Stixxay is untouched, and Licorice just went crazy in this fight. You know, the W is there to actually block the leap strike from Solo, but he just counter-strikes and flashes in on top of Bolulu and then chases him down using that ward that was in the banana brush over by Red Buff to be able to get that final kill. And that is that Jax diff up in the top lane. He got a lot of work done.
And Solo might be locked out here. He has members on the top side, so he's just gonna get his way out of there. Immortals still have only 1 Baron buff through Solo, and so they're all grouping around him as 5 and seeing how many turrets they can take down. What will Golden Guardians' response be? Stixxay is already in the mid lane looking to get the push. Nice interrupt from Tactical, stops the reset from River, and so he's going to be delayed on his recall. Can Golden Guardians look for an engage before they do any more damage?
Yeah, Licorice is trying to threaten the flank, so they clearly are wanting to go for it. Look at the Maokai coming up through the jungle. They're going to get behind him. They have 2 members behind. They're going to look for the pincer play.
Reaper's Verdict was already used. Hostile takeover does a hit. It doesn't reach Tactical. He's able to speed away. Licorice engages first. River right on top of it next. Magnet Storm to peel all the threats away from Tactical and Bolulu. He's chunked out, but he's not dead, and he can still fire back. Tactical finds 1 reset, and Golden Guardians have to retreat because they cannot play against an excited Jinx.
Yeah, they couldn't actually get that kill. Licorice able to get in the backline there with River, but the pincer didn't quite work out. huhi wasn't able to actually connect with the hostile takeover. It just barely missed out on Tactical, who had no cleanse, and I think that's why they're trying to force this. They're saying Jinx no cleanse. If that connects on him, they're probably wiped, right? It goes so bad because it's going to create so much time for them to actually catch up. Like, look at that. It was like touching his character model. That was ridiculously close. Licorice gets into the back line, but there's so much CC down on him. You can see Bolulu just throws the ulti out on his head, and it's forcing Licorice back so much damage as they're getting tagged by the sweet spot of that Ziggs ulti here. They get that kill onto River. It is just the 1 kill for them, but they get a stopwatch off him as well, which is a pretty big win. And Immortals really giving as good as they're taking in this game. There's going to be a lot of pressure now on Golden Guardians to be able to be clean in these next fights.
Azael, if you erase the current win-loss record off the screen and you just look at the names by itself, you know, this would be a completely different Immortals than we have seen the entire summer split. One that has been competing blow for blow and not losing momentum. No matter how bad a play may go south, they rebound, and the fact that they're fighting back against Golden Guardians, who is in our top 3 currently running for Summer Split, is remarkable.
Yeah, they're playing a really good game. You know, Golden Guardians, I think, has... Oh.
Q, crash down. Not quite. Licorice is able to dodge it with the leap strike.
Oh,
He's going to be safe for now, but River looking for a flank. Nature's Wrath is available. He gets spotted on the ward. Going to sweep it out instead and set up for another play next time around. Baron's coming up in 2 minutes. Dragon as well.
Yeah, it is a little bit dicey there. They may, yeah, they should have the Magnet Storm back by the time the Dragon's up. So as long as they don't fight now, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. You know, they look for that side lane pick. weren't able to find it. It is a very tanky Jax. As the satchel charge nicely disengages the play, it is difficult to engage straight on to that Ziggs because you can throw down the Hextech Minefield, you can use the satchel charge. There's a lot of abilities to actually slow down to harass these targets as they're trying to run towards you. But honestly, even if the Megastore connected, I don't think they kill Licorice. He's 16, and just look at the itemization, right? Like, he is very tanky. This is not some squishy Jax. He's got 3,400 HP. Solo has 3,100, right? So it's not like you're gonna one-shot the guy.
I'm honestly surprised at how these fights have been playing out, because I would have imagined that Immortals would just be, firing their buttons and engaging into Golden Guardians, which then they can counteract with a lot of their disengaged kills. But these past couple of fights, Golden Guardians are the ones that are feeling pressure to fire out their buttons, and hostile takeover as an engage doesn't seem that, it's not great when they just run away from it and don't even get hit by it.
I mean, it's so slow, right? That's why it's good for counter engage and not engage. It's also good if you have guaranteed lockdown that's going to hold the minute, right? So if the Maokai ult connects first, then you're throwing it out over top, then it can create chaos, right? Because if you're already in the midst of the team and they're running away from that, then sure, you're getting free damage. But I think part of the reason the fights have been difficult for Golden Guardians, the Baron fight was just chaos, but that top lane fight is because they were putting pressure on to be sieging, right? And when they have the Jinx, when they have the Ziggs, you have to respect the fact that they can knock down these turrets really quick. So Golden Guardians tried to set up this pincer play, but their hard CC is not great, right? Like, their engage really is a flank, or it is a Maokai flashing at you. That's about it, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have a guaranteed instant go button, and that's going to make things more difficult. But it's, again, back to this earlier scenario. Azael is going to try to stay on it this time, though. He's going to finish off the dragon, and now Golden Guardians, do they commit to the Baron take again? And it's solo whiff.
It's only 9,000 HP. I mean, there's so much time, but now they're starting to burn it down super fast. Gori over the wall, and River secures the Baron. Hostile takeover, buys some time for Golden Guardians, and they get a pick onto Kenvi. Will they look for the re-engage? Licorice is the first one into the front line, but Immortals have disengaged with the Chompers, and they walk away.
Yeah, this time, though, well executed here from Golden Guardians. Immortals wanted to get that dragon, and sure, they did, but you give up the Baron on this one. Kenvi gets into the pit, but it was too little too late. The Baron does go down incredibly fast. Golden Guardians couldn't really find a great turn, but now you have a Jax empowered by that Baron buff. He's going to be going mid, so they have this 4-1 set up. They're pushing down mid with this. So the tier 2 mid is going to be free. The tier 2 top is going to be free. And they will have to eventually get those waves moving in the right direction through bot lane, but that Ziggs ulti really hurting now as Bolulu is 16, so it is now a 53-second cooldown at this point and does an incredible amount of damage. It is... The ultimate is, it looks like 1,500 damage right now. And then an additional 600 or so if it's actually in the center, so it's like ridiculous. But here it is one more time. Kenvi does buffer the hook to try to get into the pit. The stun comes in from Licorice. He flashes in, but it is a split second too late. And this time the Berserk does connect on too. But again, Immortals do have pretty good kite and disengage. You can't really run through them. You can see the glacial augment there, slowing things down, and then Tactical drops the Chompers. Bolulu's harassing you. But I do think it's going to become very, very tough with Licorice now having the Baron buff on his side to be able to get these waves going in the right direction. Poppy just doesn't have the wave clear to really deal with it.
Yeah. And when you have a Baron empowered Jax splitting as well, not even the Ziggs wave clear is going to be enough, because then the Baron, the minions are even more tanky. It's a super tough position for Immortals to be in now, losing that Baron. And they were able to get the dragon on the backside, but this is now where they're going to have to really dig deep and be able to answer back.
And that's why they're playing through lanes as well, right? Because Ziggs does have really strong wave clear, as does that Jinx. So you can't just barrel it down one lane. They're trying to play through 3, split them around. Need to sync up these waves, though, to put it into a position where there's multiple lanes that they have to answer at the same time. They're trying to escort that mid lane wave up. They have one in bot, and Licorice is coming through top. So if they can really sync this up, they can potentially crack a tower here, which could make things very, very difficult for their opponents. And Licorice now has the Zonias as well, so he really can send himself into that back line and make it tough for them to ignore him, create that zone of threat.
Stixxay pushing through the mid lane, River and huhi kind of chaperoning their AD carry as they bounce back and forth between bot and mid lane. Gori solo pushing on the bottom side, Licorice pushing on the top side. And as you called it out, Immortals are forced to defend all 3 lanes at the moment.
Oh, I like that from Solo. He actually just knocks out the Jax to remove the Baron buff from the minions, and he's going to clear out that double cannon wave. And River now.
He's forced to flash. That's Nautilus ulti down. They're making their way through the mid turret. Oh, the Licorice goes in, and they're using the hostile takeover now into Licorice. A nice stopwatch. That should buy some time for Golden Guardians to close this one out if they have Baron minions on their side still. But it looks like it's just timed out. They will be able to get the middle inhibitor now, but Golden Guardians shift their attention towards the bottom side of the map as Stixxay flashing forward. Tactical almost goes down from the Gale Force. He burned both summoner spells to escape from Stixxay.
Yeah, he's barely able to survive there, but Golden Guardians just kind of brute force it, excuse me, as Licorice came through mid, is able to just run in on them, push them back. They step up, they kill off the tower. Yes, he almost goes down, but he has the Sterix pop, he has the zone used to buy time, and they just really kind of enforce their will on Immortals. Immortals didn't have the ability to actually clear out the wave and burst down the Jax and do all these things all at the same time. So they are able to knock down that first inhibitor. That's going to put even more pressure as they then follow that up by that second inhibitor down through bot. So it'll be really difficult now for Immortals to really deal with all these waves, with the Jax pushing up waves and with getting vision and trying to play around these neutral objectives becomes that much more complex. So we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. They do have incredible wave clear, of course, but Stixxay and Gori are now becoming a problem. Like, these guys have had relatively quiet games, but they're approaching full build on both sides and are going to be a massive threat, especially when you also now know that Stixxay was able to force out the summoners from tactical.
Yeah.
Licorice has flash, right? So he could look for it. Gori has flash, so he could look for it as well.
That's the big thing we're looking here for this next fight. I mean, Dragon is coming up in 24 seconds for Immortals. They're just going to turn right onto this member from Golden Guardians. Huhi was tagged up. He has the bailout, and he throws out the hostile takeover. But if they don't get a kill, then he's just gone. Licorice is prevented from getting any closer to Bolulu, but Gori is teleported right below. And Bolulu is forced to flash over the wall, but he shifts on over. He picks up the mid laner of Immortals. And now Golden Guardians, could this be the pushing end? As they are forced to recall, but Immortals, Kenvi and Solo cannot find a place to retreat. Licorice is preventing his recall, so he gives Golden Guardians the guaranteed numbers advantage. Solo had the TP on back. Tactical is here as well, but can he wave through? Oh, Stixxay has a lot of damage. Stopwatch is forced to pop. They have to defend him, but he goes down anyway. Tactical is doing everything he can to defend against Golden Guardians. They want to pick up this win for Immortals, but Golden Guardians have a conspiracy to beat. They have to beat the allegations. They have to win 10 wins in a row in the Summer Split. Gori looks for the shifting sands. Damn your conspiracy video, chat. Golden Guardians will take their 10th win for the first time in the LCS.
For the first time in franchise history here, Golden Guardians reach 10 wins. They will beat the allegations. They will finish above 50-50 in the LCS no matter what happens. A crazy end to that game, as Gori was able to find the angle on the TP. I don't know when the last time I saw an Azir flank TP was, but Gori was able to get into that back line, and we are going to go to the stage for the medal ceremony.
Golden Guardians
we are
have
here
finally
for the Verizon post-game medal ceremony. First of all, everyone is receiving gold medals for actually beating the 10-game win streak. Gori is actually also receiving a bronze medal representing South Korea. We then have receiving a silver medal for this game, a gold medal for breaking the streak, Stixxay from the United States, and then Licorice from Canada taking the gold medal. Hello! Congratulations on breaking the 10-win streak. I saw multiple of you were tweeting before the game saying that you would not be able. This was the 9-9 run back. What do you have to say about that?
9-9. Check. Go ahead. No, you got it. You start talking. I mean, it's a legend that we created just now for Golden Guardians history. So we're glad. Thank you.
What do you have to say to holy shit! Okay. I also didn't know that was coming. Actually I did, I just forgot. What do you have to say to Jat, who tried to curse you today?
I mean, curse is at this point good for us. Everyone should curse us so that we can perform better. Yeah.
Okay. You did. You broke your curse. You won the split. Yeah, live it up. We wanted to get one. Unfortunately, bottles of champagne are not allowed on air, I believe. I'll ask one serious question. I know you guys have all been trying to work on your mid game, on being able to close out games cleanly. How would you rate that journey thus far? Who wants to take it?
You can talk to the solo laners about that one.
The solo lane. Whoa. I'm pretty sure I didn't die this game, so I think I'm doing really well. So I think stocks are going up, and we're gonna close out games really easily now.
Gori? What? Mid game and late game.
Mid game? Today's match, early time my laning pace was too bad, so I wanna say sorry for team. And middle game was good. I think today Eric played very well, so we can read to middle game. So I wanna say thank you to Eric and middle game. And also I played very well. I think that's why we won today. Yeah.
Thank you. And a big congratulations to Golden Guardians. Once again, we'll toss it back to Azael and Raafaa.
Oh my God. Mark that was kind of cruel going behind them and shooting off the poppers.
Yeah.
With no warning. Those are loud.
I mean, poor huhi was scared out of his mind.
Yeah.
This last fight looked pretty dicey for Golden Guardians, but they were able to turn it up. And the fact that you called it out, I don't think we've ever seen a teleporting Azir that deep on the flank before.
Yeah, the flank was actually really, really nice there from the Azir at the end of the day. The crowd giving some love to Golden Guardians.
Hell yeah.
It's been a long run. It is crazy to think with some of the great runs they have had in playoffs that they have never been above a 50-50 record. And I think there was some discussion after they got to finals last split, after they went to MSI, had some really impressive individual performances.
Yeah.
There was still kind of that discussion of like, well, it was a good run, but they're probably going to turn back into a pumpkin. Like, they're not this good. They're not actually the second best team,
It's a
right?
fluke,
It's a
it won't
fluke, right?
last.
It's a good run. It's a hot streak. It's whatever. But, they have been able to really keep it up, and they are looking like they are a legitimate championship threat because none of our top teams are crystal clean, right? Cloud9 is dropping games. EG has been dropping a lot of games. Golden Guardians are right there at the top of the table.
Yeah.
And they are a legitimate championship threat here, and I think that is really impressive.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple other things to recap for today, as it's been all 5 of our games, and we got all 5 of our player of the games. Seeing a lot of mid laners here. Insanity and Palafox having insane games. That Team Liquid and TSM will forever remain in my mind. What an insane comeback from TSM. Insanity as well. Also for FlyQuest, props to Spica and FlyQuest as well. I mean, EG, one of our top teams, as you already alluded to. But the fact that they were able to bounce back and have such a convincing and clean game as well. I mean, just nice bounce back. One could say dive buff as well for Spica.
One could, and we did many times.
Nice.
Giving ourselves all the credit for that win. But Insanity has had a crazy split. The fact that TSM is 8-3 with Insanity is really incredible. And I do think he has been such a big contributor to the team, bringing a lot of proactivity to them, bringing a lot of aggression from that mid lane, and showcasing his talents to a very high degree. It's been fun to see some of these guys stepping up and really changing the outlook for a squad, right? I think APA has been able to do it with TL. It's been really cool to see him coming in. Insanity has been such a breath of fresh air for TSM. They have been looking great. So it's really cool to see all these different players stepping up, making things happen for their squad. Palafox, we were talking about this earlier today, but over this last week or two, he is putting together a lot of good games.
Yeah.
And it is making that all-pro discussion, those MVP discussions and whatnot, really, really hard to think about because there's so many different candidates to discover.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the split and the way things were panning out, we're like, all right, yeah, Jojo, MNS, probably guaranteed top 2. But then that third spot, the third coveted one, it's like, I mean, there's Insanity, there's Palafox. We're even looking, I mean, we can't discount Gori either, who's also having great games as well. And then there's moments where you'll see I mean, APA cannot be in the conversation because he came in so late, but had he had a full split and he was playing like this, he would be in the conversation as well. So it's awesome to see such a wide display of talent coming from our farming system, our Challengers League system. All 5 of those players came up through Challengers at one point, some more recent than others.
Yeah, it is really cool. And I think it was yesterday, 4 out of the 5 came up through Academy of the players of the game. So it is actually working. I mean, it's one of the benefits. People talked a lot about the negatives, and there are a lot of negatives about the changes to NACL and maybe teams pulling back. But one of the things that is cool is that there's way more flexibility for the players to be able to just get in on an LCS team. There's no more contract jail, so to speak. People are able to get signed to contracts, are able to move up. There's kind of that upward mobility more available, it feels like. And teams are really taking advantage of that. And we've had some incredible performances from people coming up from NACL, being real difference makers right out the gate in the LCS.
Yeah, I mean, some have the benefit of still having a Challengers League team attached so they can experiment with that, FlyQuest and Team Liquid. In Sanity's case, he had to prove himself. I mean, TSM were wanting to go with Ruby initially and just gave the spot over Insanity because, well, we have to wait on visa issues. The fact that Insanity came in here and said, I might not get another chance, I need to make my mark, and he's just delivering, that is probably one of my favorite stories out of this entire summer split so far.
Yeah, absolutely. He has been incredible, but that's going to be it for us. We're going to be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Until then, see you next time.
I know we had the birds on the side of Dig, but it's looking like the Red Bull Baron buff is giving them the wings as they get one on a Boom again, and they are just consistently taking the fight here to Dignitas. That was a triple kill for FP5 before he went down, but a quadra in the end, and NRG, they just got a gold lead for the first time in the game.
Rich now on the next minion wave, and Contract is in.
Killer Instinct from FBI in the backline here as well. The Fate Sealed isn't going to be enough. You got Dokla in there too, and RJ, they're doing it. That's already 2 there as well for FBI. They're cleaning house now too.
Yeah, they're going to look, but the counter TP is coming through. JoJo's going to TP in as well. Everyone coming up towards this top lane. Vikla is the target. His revenge goes all out, but the equalizer is there. Unforgiven in trouble as Overheated Impact is chasing him down. In comes Prince, flashing over the wall. It's going to finish him off. Ayla sure to follow. That's 2 for Prince. There's the Killer Instinct. That's going to be another. That's a 3rd for Prince. A 4th kill goes over to Spica. They wipe the map with him. It's an ace for FlyQuest.
Edge of having something.
Almost at a point. Prince maybe going to go down, but has the Killer Instinct. JoJo coming in, and JoJo gets erased as Vikla drops the hammer. Armeo trying to find something, but there's nothing to find except the base, and they're going to be sent packing once again back to the well, 23-3.
There it is. Ornhorn coming across Chime, looking for the big area and entrance. They do get one, though, as they are trying to catch out Boogie. He's completely separated from the rest of the team. And Team Liquid, they're getting pushed off the fight now as they bought so much time. Insanity steps up, and Insanity gets a double kill. He's looking for more. And that's a clean ace for TSM.
They're still down in gold, but TSM ace Team Liquid.
Hit the tower, hit the tower, hit the tower, hit the tower. Hit the tower.
Bro, flash go.
Flash, guys. Okay, Barge is dead, Barge is dead, Barge is dead. Look here, guys, look here. Give up. Nice.
Hit the tower.
Honestly,
top.
I can't want to blow alone, bro.
I'll TP, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks like they're actually just gonna go ahead and commit to the Baron, but it's gonna get so close. 2,500 HP. All of the Immortals are into the pit, and Kenvi steals the Baron away from Golden Guardians. Now Golden Guardians have to fight their way out, but Tactical flashes over the Shurima Shuffle. Stixxay is able to answer on back, but now it's up to him to do the damage. He and Licorice have to clean this one up and make sure that Immortals don't walk away with any